Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right back into the upcoming 12th Annual New York Indian Film Festival. We'll once again join Arun and Asim as they tell us more about the exciting lineup of films and special events at this year's festival. Let's join them.
The most exciting part of our film festival, at least for me, won't be for the curator, but for me, is the opening night.
I love the opening night. It's a great party.
Fabulous.
It's a fabulous party we put up, and it's great to relax after.
That's the opening.
Yes.
You're not relaxing. You're working the rest of it. You're doing all those post-screening discussions.
So therefore, it's very relaxing at the party.
Yeah, because that part of it, at least the work for the curating has been done. But we have an amazing red carpet with all our filmmakers and celebrities walking that carpet. We have our usual celebrities will come, and then we have all our filmmakers. We have the film, the post-screening discussion, and then our gala benefit dinner. The film is at the Paris Theatre, the gala benefit dinner at the Essex House. And I think if anyone hasn't been to that night, they should check it out, because there are separate tickets for the screening only, which is equally exciting because it's an amazing film and an amazing amount of hoopla around it. And then if you can come for the gala benefit dinner, do, because that is tax deductible and pays for the rest of the festival. But I know that we didn't talk about several very exciting films.
Well, there were a couple of documentaries, I think, which are really wonderful. I mean, we already talked about some documentaries. There's a very, very powerful documentary that's come from India, and it has not played in this country. It's run into problems with the censors. It's called Inshallah Football. It's a story set in Kashmir, directed by a man called Ashwin Kumar, whose film Little Terrorist was selected for the short film was selected for the Oscars a few years ago. It's a very powerful story about a Kashmiri teenager who wants to play soccer and wants to actually go outside in Brazil and play in a little league there. But unfortunately, his father was a terrorist, and therefore he's not able to get a visa and a passport. So that's a very strong film. And then
But while that film was being shot, wasn't there, you were telling me something about even the Omar Abdullah had to jump in.
Omar Abdullah had to step in. That's a part of the thing. I mean, we don't want to give away the whole film, but it's about the struggle of a young boy who basically says, okay, that's true, my father was a terrorist, but what do I have to do with it? I was only 2 years old. So it's from his perspective, and it's from the perspective of a Brazilian coach who lives in Srinagar with his wife and kids, and he's basically getting these kids in Srinagar, Kashmir, to play soccer to get their mind away from the whole militancy that's going on around there. Very interesting story, very powerful.
You know what is writing here? Nascido para jogar futebol. Born to play football.
मैं तो या तो ये चेक करके तुमको बता सकता हूँ कि क्यों पासपोर्ट नहीं मिला, या अगर आपके बारे में कोई चीज़ नेगेटिव हो या आपकी फैमिली के बारे में नेगेटिव हो. फैमिली के बारे में कोई चीज़ नेगेटिव तो नहीं है.
Father was involved in militants.
Your father.
My passport, and he was the same guy like that.
They took my father from his own house, from his own home, and then murdered him.
Then there's a very fun documentary we're showing called Big in Bollywood. Anyone who's seen Three Idiots will remember Omi Vaidya's character in it. And so Omi Vaidya is actually an actor, Indian-American actor who lives in California. He couldn't speak a word of English, and they actually, Hindi, and they picked an actor specifically who was sort of this ABCD kind of a character. But Big in Bollywood takes place after Three Idiots is released, and it has becomes such a huge success. It was the biggest hit ever in India. But three of Omi Vaidya's American friends follow him to India to watch how Bollywood affects and impacts this guy, and how this guy himself observes Bollywood. It's really fun. He was very charming in the film. But what's really interesting is how just somebody from California overnight becomes such a sensation in India and starts to be recognized on the streets of India. We have a rather interesting diaspora film made by an Indian American who actually lives here in Brooklyn called Let's Be Out, the Sun is Shining. A very a different kind of film than what we're used to seeing. It's about a Indian girl who lives in Bushwick and just hangs out with a range of Americans, artists, poets, partying at night, relationships, sex, issues that a lot of young people sort of go through, and she just happens to be an Indian American. That's what identifies. That's her identity. But she's also very New Yorker, and I think it's a very interesting statement on the young people in their lives.
We have an industry panel, a day of that, and we also have 2 days of workshops.
Script writing workshop, which is going to be conducted by Anjum Rajabali, who's a very well-known script writer in India. And the industry panel is going to be really interesting, where we'll have filmmakers, producers, range of people who work, in the film industry, with focus about India, not necessarily people who, Americans who are working in India, or have produced films or have distributed them here.
But what's very interesting is that after every film, we have a post-screening discussion.
Yes.
And we generally zero in on generally the theme of the film, so that the actors and the director, or whoever we have there, can talk about it. But then when you interview them, you can bring out that theme, like whether it's a women's theme or or thing. And this year we've got partners for the African films with the Nelson Mandela Foundation and the African Museum.
Lucky, kokunye izinto zenzeka ngokukhulu kushesha. Kodwa udokotela bathi sengigula kakhulu lokho ngangokuthi ngeke ngisaphinde ngikubone. Umalume wakho uyena osekunakekela manje.
Malume, ulaphi?
Kanti futhi ngimnikile nemali yokuthi akuhambise isikole. Ngiyakuthanda Lucky.
And we're bringing in people. Last year we had the Israelis who came and partnered with us. And in the past we've had other countries. We've actually had a Spanish film. We've had the English, the Brits we brought in a few years ago. We've had Canadians. Do we have any Canadians this year?
I don't think. We may have some shorts, but no any features, yeah.
Yeah, because we had that Air India film some years ago, remember?
Yes.
That was a Canadian film. So actually we are an indie film festival, but we have diaspora, art house, alternate, independent films, and we have feature films, shorts, as well as documentaries. I think we've about covered most of the things.
Yes, we're very excited, and we've mentioned some of the films. The rest of the information is going to be available on our website, and the tickets are going to be on sale soon. So
www.iaac.us, and it's the New York Indian Film Festival, May 23rd to 27th. Check it out.
Be sure to catch this year's 12th annual New York Indian Film Festival. That's all for today's episode of the show that brings you closer to the events that matter to you, center stage. Make sure to keep your feedback coming by emailing us at cs@globosatend.com. And definitely make sure to visit us on the web at gen-i.us.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, I'm your host, Juhi Desai. Sahara Pranam.
There are many Indias. And many different Indians. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for if you keep looking.
Rohini, hey, hold up. It's Jasper, not Saheed.
तेरे बुरे नहीं दिखते हैं वो।
लगता है किसी का दिल फिरंगी पर आ गया है।
He's on some ridiculous mission to discover India, the real India. I don't know how will he do that.
My money disappeared. अंग्रेजी खाना होता क्या है किसी को कुछ नहीं पता सिर्फ मैक्रोनी पिज्जा पिज्जा मैक्रोनी